Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. And before we get to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast, I want to talk to you about Health IQ. Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance for health-conscious people. So if you're living an overall healthy lifestyle, you have a 60% lower risk of mortality than someone who isn't. Whether you're a runner, cyclist, vegan, you name it, Health IQ rewards you by saving you money on your life insurance. More than half of Health IQ customers save between 4 and 33%, and these savings are exclusive to Health IQ. So to learn more and see if you qualify, get your free quote at healthiq.com/crazy and mention the promo code CRAZY when you talk to a Health IQ agent. Now let's get to the show.
Is that why you wear that Life hoodie today?
No, they spell it regular life.
Oh, but still.
Yeah.
They just give you life, health insurance.
Life insurance.
Life insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out life. Maybe I'm crazy, but everyone is missing the point of the NCAA scandal.
Preach, Joy. I don't got nothing. That's all I got.
I will.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
Welcome to the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. That's Brandon Newman.
Hola.
In his, actually inexplicably, in his NCAA gear today.
Yes.
Today would have been a day to wear some professional gear.
Really? I know. I want to come for it. I want to let people know where I'm coming from with the takes. You feel me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you. There's a lot of stuff going on. We've got In and Out, which we usually do. Some stuff from the NFL in and Out that people are going to be very upset with. LeBron, Wakanda forever.
Yes, always.
Popovich, some losers, some winners. Maybe Blake Bortles is a winner this week. Maybe not. Who knows?
He deserves to be.
Petty report, as we usually do. But thanks for joining us again. Hope that you are a subscriber on all of our outlets. Maybe I'm Crazy Pod on all of the digital platforms and YouTube and such, and of course Apple Podcasts. But this week, the NCAA is appearing that it's going to go down in flames. Not really. There's nothing. There's no scandal that's going to take the NCAA down. I think we've pretty much figured that out.
Not
but
yet.
There are two. Well, yeah. I think we know. I think we have enough evidence to prove that no matter what any kind of trouble anybody gets into, the NCAA is not going down. But there are 2 points to the NCAA scandal. If you don't know what's going on, people are getting paid. Student athletes are getting money, which is not new. But there's 2 points to the scandal that everybody is missing. And the first is that it's completely evolved. Everyone still thinks that it's boosters and alumni giving people money or families money or kids money to go to school. And it's not just boosters anymore. It's much bigger. And the second, when it comes to the NBA, is that everyone thinks that the one and done rule is the NCAA, and it's actually the NBA's rule, which people seem to forget. That's important. So let's start with point number 1. So there's at least 20 schools involved. There's a big Yahoo Sports story. There's an FBI investigation. Obviously, everyone heard what happened with Patino. Now you have Sean Miller at Arizona on wiretap. It's very mafioso, everything that's going on right now.
Yes, very much so.
But what everyone is not realizing is that it's not just boosters paying kids anymore. It's completely evolved, and it is trickled down into the most beginner level of basketball. So it's not just AAU anymore. Everybody thinks that it's like like everyone who doesn't play in college or high school, they're playing in AAU. No, it's Nike, it's Adidas, it's Under Armour. Those are the sponsors of the leagues that these kids are playing in. First of all, they have invested an insane amount of money. They each have their own leagues. You have Nike's EYBL, Adidas Gauntlet, and Under Armour Association. They have dozens of teams. All these kids get swag. You have, allegedly, you have parents of other prospects of the team helping to move other prospects closer to their school so that kid can play in their school. These shoe companies are sponsoring high schools. They are flying these kids all over the country. These same shoe companies are sponsors of colleges. And then, of course, we know they then give you shoe deals when you get to the NBA. So boom, boom, boom. It's on every level. That's just one part of it, is that these shoe companies are involved. And as long as the shoe companies are involved, that's a billion-dollar industry. So sneakerheads out there, when you really take a step back and look at all this, it's fashion. Mugatu, okay? It's fashion though. This is what's really
Yes.
this is what's really driving all of this is gear.
Yeah.
Nike, Adidas, Under Armour. These are essentially fashion companies. These are clothing companies and shoe companies that are influencing the kids in the NCAA and kids before they even make it to college.
Yeah.
The very amateur level.
All athletics.
That's just one part of it. So one part of the influence that is pushing these kids into different schools, because obviously the motivation is if you play in the Under Armour league, you're then going to go to an Under Armour school, and then when you graduate from that Under school, when you leave that Under Armour school, you will then sign an Under Armour shoe deal.
Get them early.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. That's the strategy going on here. But another part of it, and this is a big part of the FBI investigation, is agents. So allegedly, agents will give players money or a loan, and then they'll get compensated. They will get the money back when they get into the league. Well, that's a risky investment because there's no guarantee that kid is going to stay with your agency, which in a lot of the cases that are coming out through this report, they haven't. So they've given there's this ASM Sports. So there's a ledger, which who knows if these recordings are even accurate. Like it's not like this is above board. So the guy could have written in any amounts for what he's given these kids. So so-and-so got 10,000. Who knows if that's true? There's no way to verify any of this because it's all under the table. But the whole thing is just insane. And the names that are on here, Markel Fultz, Kyle Kuzma, I mean, there's an insane amount of kids who are tangled up in this, over 20 major schools, and it's only going to get worse as we get closer to March Madness and the tournament. And like the biggest takeaway when it comes to the corruption that comes to the NCAA for me is there is no way, as long as these billion-dollar companies are involved in the sponsorship of these programs, is this going to go away? How do you eliminate it?
You can't ask. They need them. The NCAA needs them as much as Nike.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need sponsors, of course, but the NCAA, the whole entire system leading up to it is a disaster. Like and the NCAA hasn't updated its rules to keep up with the growth of grassroots basketball.
Right.
It's if you look at the Ball family, for example, like they aren't associated with this, but if you look at the growth, the explosion of their popularity in grassroots basketball, it's tremendous. I mean, you've got pop-up shops and there's hundreds of kids waiting outside. Who do you think is paying attention to these kids? They have whole brands before they even make it to college. All of that is coming from the AAU circuit, which people don't understand. It's not the AAU circuit anymore. It's Under Armour, Adidas, Nike. And these kids grow up through. They play in tournaments for years before they even make it to college with the influence of these billion-dollar companies.
Yeah, in high school, the best football players when I was coming up was you got invited to the Nike the Nike camp, camp where you went and go and you do it's like pro day. It's a huge invitation, and I got invited, and it was a huge thing. I was leaning towards Nike so much just because I got invited to the combine.
Yes, that is their motivation,
right?
Literally for that to happen. So the other point of this, while everyone's discussing all the corruption that's going on with the NCAA, is the one and done rule. So Van Gundy came out and called it racist. LeBron talked about it today. LeBron said the NCAA is corrupt. We all know that. I'm sorry, it's going to make headlines, but it's corrupt. I don't know if there's any fixing the NCAA. I don't think that there is. It's what's been going on for many, many, many years. I don't know how you fix it. I don't see how you can fix it. Obviously, I've never been a part of it, so I don't know the ins and outs. I do know what five-star athletes bring to a campus, both in basketball and football. The college coaches get paid. Obviously, we know college coaches get paid like professionals, and I know how much these colleges are gaining off of these kids. So LeBron is echoing what everybody else is saying. But what LeBron is not paying attention to is this one and done rule. That's the NBA's rule. And why is it in place? It's because veterans don't want to lose that last roster spot to an 18-year-old kid. The rule is you have to be 19 or you have to go to college for a year.
Damn.
They don't want to lose that spot to an 18-year-old kid who's just going to sit there and develop when it can go to a veteran player. So the system is literally designed around keeping these kids from reaching their full potential. And I honestly don't know how you fix it. It's been this way, though. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. The big reveal, I think, to me, when I dug in on what's actually happening with the NCAA, is not that kids are getting paid. It's not that coaches are, involved in the corruption of it, or they know what's going on. It's not that families are getting money. It's not that the NBA is really the ones that has the one and done rule. The biggest thing to me is people aren't paying attention to the influence of these giant sponsors on these kids. I don't know what the fix is. And while we're talking about the NBA and everything that's going on with that, you look at the NFL when you talk about changing the one and done rule. Why is the rule for the NFL to me is even worse? And I know everyone's like immediate pushback is there's no way that a high school kid can come out of high school and go straight to the NFL with a high school body. Fine.
Not ready.
Okay. But maybe some running backs are. Maybe some wide receivers are. Maybe some quarterbacks are. And even if they're not, why wouldn't they go get signed to a team and start working on a practice squad with NFL-level trainers and NFL-level nutritionists and NFL-level therapists?
Yeah, no, all
and NFL-level film rooms. So why wouldn't they be put in that position as opposed to having to go to college for 3 years?
It's obviously easier to build a system off the lowest common denominator than these outliers like LeBron James and Maurice Carrette, if we're talking NFL players that could have been ready straight out of high school.
Sure, I get it. There are, but to that point, yes, there are not a lot of LeBrons. There are not a lot of Kobes. There are not a lot of Dwights. It's LeBron, Dwight, Kobe. Like, that is the point.
Right.
But shouldn't that be on a GM? And can we create a system where a kid can make a choice whether they can go to college or go pro? You don't have it in other sports. Why is it in this situation? And the why is, of course, billions of dollars.
Right.
Like, that is the why. But to me, these kids have to find a way to unionize. Somebody has to step up and put together a system that prevents this from happening. And the thing about it is it's really a stretch to even make it illegal. Like, you have to search for wire fraud and defrauding America's institutions to even actually prosecute what's going on. Like, maybe there's some tax stuff happening, but it's a fair exchange of services. This isn't really like breaking the law. It's just kind of like, it seems a bit unethical.
Right. You're breaking rules.
Which are meant to be broken.
Hey.
I mean, ask for forgiveness rather than permission. It's
I'm
what
all
I always
about
say.
it,
If you're
for
not
sure.
cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah.
But I don't blame the kids. The system is set up for you to find a way around it.
The system is set up now that the only way to change it would have some level of anarchy, some level of like insubordination. Like, the system is based off the fact that kids don't know what they're doing. They need help. They need rules and guidelines to help guide them. And if I had to say which side I'm on, obviously from a football standpoint, like, I do think you should have some time as an incubator period to learn and grow and realize what's the best decision for you. But that decision shouldn't be forced upon you.
Well, okay. Maybe that sounds nice. It's a cute notion. Maybe you should get a shirt made or something. But like that the same rules don't apply for everybody. Like, me at 18 might be way more mature than the average 18-year-old.
Right.
You, whatever. Everybody is different. Everybody has grown at a different pace and maturity. Like, I'm not saying that who you are at 18 is who you are at 21, 22. Of course, you have that growth period. But why is it up to some suit to decide if I am ready to go professional or not?
Right.
Tennis players can go professional at 14? It's just insane to me that you shouldn't have the choice as an adult to decide what you're going to do with your future. Just miss me with the whole, like, you're getting an education thing.
Yeah, no.
And the thing about the thing that always bothers me about that, even when there's not a huge scandal with NCAA, is like, if I went pro, couldn't I just pay for my own school? I don't need your scholarship.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go earn an honest living,
Yes.
I can save my money if I choose to do so and come back and go to school. You act like this is a thing that isn't advertised everywhere. Go back to school.
There's a story every time someone
Not to
decides to go
mention
back.
the fact when you get out of school, I mean, I don't know about you, but I have some student loans I got to pay off still. Like, if we're keeping it at 100.
Yeah.
And it's not the olden days when you're like, oh, I've got a college degree. I'll take a job, please. Full benefits, and I'm going to be able to support my family. This is not the same situation.
Yeah.
So who are you to tell me I can't go and maximize my skill And it's physical. Who knows if you're going to blow your knee out? Who knows how long your career is going to be? It's insane to me that there are these regulations on these kids that they have to participate in college sports in order to be eligible to make money professionally when the system is making billions of dollars on their labor.
You listening,
LeVar. I mean, get that league together, okay?
You know what I'm saying?
It is time. It is time.
We're asking for it.
It is time. Just put it together. There's never been a better time to try and take out the NCAA than right now. I don't know what the major fix is. I don't know how you pay the players. If you do like a pool of money for each conference and distribute it that way, do you create a bracket system for what teams bring in the most money and they get? Who knows how you do it? But
there's definitely a way to do it. But I think the way to do it would take money out of the pockets of these no-name faces at the NCAA.
No. Anytime there is money moving, somebody is losing money. That's a fact. But anytime that there is major change on the institutional level, it's because there is no other option, right? Like somebody who's sitting there making $1 billion is not interested in the suffering of like this kid. Obviously, they would have already changed it. If they're like, you know what, I feel really bad about making $1 billion off your likeness and not giving you any of that money. Maybe I'll just change the system. We wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation right now. Right? Because that would have happened. Instead, you have to go in there like, excuse me, we're going to send you to federal prison if you don't start sharing the money with the kids that are making the money for you. That is when, things change. Right? Obviously, the NCAA is not going to go to federal prison, but that's how it all works. It's not going to like voluntarily give money away.
We should put everything on the table.
Nobody's going to voluntarily tip 20% on the takeout.
Listen, it's called karma, Joy. I'm putting it out there. I'm giving back, and it's coming back to me every day.
Oh, it is?
I'm sitting here with you right now.
Oh, you think because you tip a ridiculous amount on your takeout that's the reason why you're on the podcast?
You're welcome.
I'm considering advocating for kicking you off the podcast for doing that. Okay, so to talk more about this, we have Ryan Hollins, formerly of the National Basketball Association and the NCAA, UCLA Bruin. We'll get his thoughts on some of this. All right, Ryan Hollins is in with us. Thank you so much for joining us in our humble abode.
Yes.
Nope.
You're very impressed with our room here.
I'm highly impressed, but very confused at the same time. We're not quite in the dungeon.
No.
It's an upgraded dungeon where we are. But you're getting in on the ground floor.
No, there's a lot going in. There's a lot going into today. You cannot sleep on what's happening. No. I'm all in, fellas. Yes. Come on.
And we're about to grill you, so you have to be ready. And you're in your suit though, so you're ready to go. So the NCAA, you're UCLA Bruin, but not associated with this unless you ask Lonzo, which he says they are associated, but that's another story. They're in a little trouble right now. There's some things being said about some players being paid and some agents and other stuff going on. FBI investigations. What is your opinion on exactly what's happening right now with all that chaos?
I hope it blows all the way up. In Arizona right now that's the little fish. Like, are we really not telling the truth right now? I hope it spills over to Duke. I hope it spills over to UCLA. I hope it spills over to Ohio State. I hope it spills over to every major program because that's the only way that we see change. And are we going to sit out all of these players, all of the money out of college sports? It's not a matter of that collegiate athletes should they be paid. It's just absurd at this point that I step away with billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars, and you make nothing from it. You make an education, and we've been there before. You know that education is not for everybody.
Right.
We got some of these dudes that I'll say they're dumb as a doorknob, but you bring them in and you find ways to make them eligible. So you bend when it's convenient to you, but not convenient for us. Something literally has to change, and just be 100 about it, because it's just a nasty cycle, disgusting system that trickles down to AAU, trickles down with these shoe companies. And I understand that when the collegiate student athlete process first started, there was some purity to it, and that kids just went there to get education, and right out of college, you know what I'm saying, you could go get a job that could feed your kids. Now you come out in debt. Yeah. Now it makes no sense. And now I'm telling you to be a professional ball player but go to class. Dude, I have a history degree at UCLA. I have a history degree from UCLA. Am I going to be a history teacher? By no means. It was fancy networking, right. If you want to be honest. And I'm a guy who graduated. So when I say that school isn't for everybody, it wasn't for a lot of my teammates. These guys don't go on with those priorities. They weren't preached that. They're there to get a bucket or score a touchdown or score a goal. That's what they're there for. So let's not confuse ourselves on why we're there, what this process is about.
So how would you change it? Would you just make it available for each individual school to pay whatever they want? So the NCAA regulate it? Who is in charge? Who gets paid? Do the women basketball players get paid the same as the football players? How does all that work?
So let's stop fronting for one, because it's a double standard. We're not equal. We're not equal. How long? Am I wrong?
No.
They've been preaching for the longest time. Wow, you got to have Title IX and as many men's sports and women's sports. And I love that because my daughter, her senior year of high school, could pick up some golf clubs and get a Division I scholarship. So, like, selfishly, I love that as a parent, baby. Go to school, all right, for free. But I tell you that you're all equal, but I'm selling your basketball jersey for $60 to $100. You come into a game to get a certain package to sit front row. It's a couple $100 to get that seat versus the nosebleed seats.
Right.
But I can go into the soccer match for free. We're not equal. I can go to women's soccer for free. We're not all equal. We're not the same. But you preach that to me, but you don't sell that the same. When you do your television deal, when you get that UCLA or that Duke deal with ESPN and y'all bringing that numbers, there's no TV deal for soccer. And you don't say, hey, come to the games for free. We're student athletes. They're amateurs. Your coach makes a professional contract.
Right.
He has a professional contract. And there are some college jobs that are better than professional jobs. I talked about this the other day. If we listed a professional entity, a professional organization, they got a marketing deal, they sell shoes, they sell tickets, they got season ticket packages, there's all the way down the list. They have a professional coach, a trainer. This is a professional team. I played last year in Spain and Italy, and in that time, I had some of my teammates in Italy that were still students and still being paid to play
professionally.
They're on a team with us. They practice with us. Sometimes we have certain practice that they miss, but these guys were being paid to play professionally. And if you can get it at 14, 15 years old, they ship them straight off. And I'm not necessarily for that. I understand the innocence of these children, but don't act like the only way that I can go to UCLA or that I can get a degree is through sports.
Right.
Dude, my daddy raised me better than that. If it wasn't basketball, I wasn't 7 feet, I'd go and get an education somewhere. And that's something that somebody can't be stopped to do, to make it seem like there's this charity where we're educating you. These dudes don't want it. It's not, right? It's not for everybody.
Right. So the one and done rule, a big misconception about that is that's the NCAA is doing. It's actually the NBA's rule. That you have to be 19 or go to a year of college. So do you think that they should change that rule, or do you think more kids should start skipping college if it's not for them and go into the G League, as they call it now, which was once the D League? What do you think about that rule?
Interesting enough, this summer, man, I was blessed to have the opportunity to sit down with Adam Silver. And, like, before we died, like, he's one of the coolest commission. Like, he gets it, dude. Like, he one of us. Like, he'll talk to you like one of the fellas. Like, I don't want to say one of the ladies.
It's fine.
We having the conversation, right?
You in here. Yeah.
You official lady fella. You know.
I'm a lady fella.
Okay. Fair enough. I got to let you say it, right?
No,
I can't say it.
Don't take that out of context either.
We spoke about the one and done rule because of my time in Europe, and I said, these guys are eligible to jump into the league. In a sense, they're held in a higher esteem than the American athletes. I feel penalized almost for being American because of my exposure, the way that I'm seen. For instance, if you didn't know this, if I get drafted and I'm a part of a EuroLeague team and it doesn't work out, I can go back and develop. No sweat off my back. Not a big deal. I go back where I'm comfortable. I get bigger, stronger, faster. I have the MO of playing. I actually proposed something to the commissioner. I guess I'll share it, man. I guess I'll break my big news here. But I said, why can't us American athletes go back to school? Or why can't you draft a guy and stash him in college here? So imagine, per se, if you're the Philadelphia 76ers,
Right,
and you drafted a guy, and he signs to the 76ers. He's property of the 76ers. They pay his tuition. They pay his scholarship, whatever. He's on a stipend through them, but he still goes back to school. And now you have this symmetry, this unity within college sports
And he
and
wouldn't
professional
play
sports.
at that college.
He would play.
No,
Oh, he would
played.
play.
He would be eligible to play and develop because still this is part of his development. But you knew he was not ready for the NBA yet.
The NHL
Because-
does something similar. There's players on the on the hockey team at Notre Dame who was already drafted by the Boston Bruins, and they were just there in school for the next 3 years until they was ready to jump and go to the league.
Yeah, it makes sense because a big part of school, I mean, if we're being honest, college, sure, you get your degree and that's fine and that's fun, but a big part of college is you're developing into from a child into an adult, and that period when you are a young person, learning about yourself and what you want to do with your life and all of that is important to developing as a professional at whatever it is that you're going to do, but of course it is a professional athlete.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, absolutely. And as a former professional athlete and collegiate athlete and guy who spent 4 years in the process, I would feel more comfortable putting my name in the draft knowing that I can go back to school. I remember a former teammate of mine that I won't name had a situation at school where he wanted to come back. He wanted to just test the waters, but he felt the pressure from a coach that was it was an all or nothing type deal.
Right.
You either jump in as a grown man or you stay here with us. Wow. And he wanted to take care of his family. He wanted to live better, so he took that leap of faith. Years later in the NBA, obviously, it worked out. But as a European player, I don't have those same stresses. I don't have those same blessings and opportunity. Man, we are the system, dude. Like, we are the money. Like,
I actually think of everyone has a different solution for the situation. I don't have a solution for the
I
situation.
got more
'cause
solutions.
I think it's
You want it?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I think for I do want to hear them. For me, the whole scope of the NCAA is not limited to just basketball, though, because I think football has a real problem too with how that they prevent guys. And it's football and basketball are two different animals as far as it's a contact sport. I mean, you can make the argument that basketball is a contact sport, but we know it's not the same as football. You're not running into a wall every play. So high school bodies need a little more time to develop, but there are certain positions, I think, running back, quarterback, some wide receivers who are there already. Maybe they just need a little time on the practice squad or whatever that would transition. That very few players could transition from high school football to the NFL, but I do think it should be a rule that's changed also. But that suggestion actually, I think, is the best way to eliminate all of the craziness that's going on, because it really comes down to money. Like, the whole thing is money, and you guys have brands already. LaMelo has how many millions of followers already? Guys already have brands. You can't buy that. So that's not something even that colleges can really even offer you anymore. I mean, if you're not a top prospect, maybe like, I'm going to Kentucky, but those aren't the guys we're even talking about here. The issue is the big money. So what you're suggesting actually eliminates that, because they're going to be paid. And for a lot of these kids, it's like, okay, I got a scholarship, I'm going to this big university, but what about my family? I got to help them out. And that suggestion actually, I think, eliminates that.
You want the rest of it? Because
Sure.
that was just a little
just
ice, and that was a little spice.
Hit us.
We had to spice it up a little
We got
bit.
time.
My other proposal with the NCAA, and I believe is fairness to all athletes, is that because every college doesn't make the same money.
Right.
Every sport isn't the same.
Yep.
I think you have a form of revenue sharing where amongst athletes, because there's billions of dollars being thrown away.
Sure.
And I'm not sure what that number is, and don't tell me you can't figure it out. And yes, you're going to have to make us employees.
Oh, no, they know.
And yes, if I miss class, I get fined. I'm sure as a coach would love that. You're actually losing money. But there's a form of revenue sharing within your scholarship. Possibly, I'm sure we make enough money to pay for all athlete scholarships. We make more than enough, or at least pay for half, or however that would be negotiated. And then you give these athletes, because this is another hypocrisy, is that I won't pay you, and you can't go out and make your own money. Somebody else can't pay you. And what that leaves me as a collegiate athlete who, let's be honest, a majority of our star football players and basketball players come from single-parent households.
Right.
They come from the inner city. So when an agent comes knocking on the door and says, I got $100,000 for you to sign with me. I got $200,000. I'm gonna put moms up in an apartment, man. You want to live better? We'll take her out here with you. How do I turn that down, dude?
You can't.
You can't.
Right?
You can't, and they don't, and they shouldn't.
And then the NCAA, what they're forcing on us is, as a former Notre Dame football player, they're forcing student athletes to learn how to get over, really, and like how to scheme, how to go under, how to go around and get away with it. And I mean, obviously, you know, I can put that towards life later on, but like that's not the type of lessons you're supposed to be teaching these kids at 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, and if I'm thinking about it, man, if I could send because I'm really, you getting paid, I'm not getting paid. If I could send moms, let's say some dude's gonna trick it off, dog. Like we know a couple dudes gonna buy chains, buy a car, lease it in their name. You a grown man, dude. You could go and die tomorrow at war, right? You can die for your country tomorrow, but you can't make money to get paid in the NCAA.
Right.
So you give them some of that, and then you give the freedom to these guys to endorse their brands. Let's say I'm a player at Notre Dame, right? I know it's darn near like religion, literally at Notre Dame football.
It's a religion.
Yeah.
I think their whole bit is religion.
I can't even downgrade it.
Yes.
And there's a car dealership, all right? And I want to pay you to endorse my brand. You can come in and make money within that. You can make money within that. Now, you still, as an employee, have obligations to make it to practice on time, to handle your business in the classroom. You know, all those things go in. You know, you have a certain GPA to uphold. There are ways that you can do that.
Easy.
I think they have to. I think, and my suggestion is to you to be a union president. I think that they have to unionize. It's very hard to unionize. People just say that.
Problem with that?
What?
Because it would have to be a student athlete, and these dudes have tried,
Amateur
but
status.
we're out.
No, I don't think that's. I mean, you have to have money behind it, but I think there are enough people at this point. And really,
I know your guy. You want to know your guy? Because it's not me, but I know your guy.
Who?
Ed O'Bannon.
O'Bannon?
Big Ed. Big Ed's had the class action lawsuit against the NCAA for the video game.
Oh, yeah.
Those who don't know, Ed, his first day on campus, goes to play basketball in the men's gym, right? Tears his knee up, slips on a puddle of water, tears his knee up. Ed is in a situation where he literally can't even practice, and people don't know this. And he sacrificed essentially his pro career to stay 4 years, and in college, you play 2 games a week. So much like football, you probably like, that's all of us. You sacrifice your body to make those 2 games. And by the time he got to the pros where we play, 3 games in a week, 4 games in a week, he couldn't do it. His knee couldn't last, but he made billions for UCLA. So he's a shining example. Now he's left with what? So he won that lawsuit, and man, he had to, I watched a special on him that he came out with the other day, actually this week, and where he was like, I had to sacrifice commentating opportunities, coaching opportunities. Nobody would touch me, because of the lawsuit that I was in, because of the stance that he made, what he moved forward. So I think,
anytime you fight the system, you're gonna have people who are not appreciative of that. But yeah, I mean that's you have to have a unionized or a centralized system. But I think that look, I have opinions about the NCAA for forever and tomorrow. But I do think that this particular scandal, I think you're right, and I actually agree with you. I hope that it all blows up because look, this isn't something that we didn't know. No one. I mean, if you're the person out there who's like, no, it's still amateur. I'm not talking to you because you don't. You're not. This is the wrong podcast for you because we're functioning in reality. Okay, or at least my reality right now. That's not what happens. Like this has been going on for what, 40 years?
Yeah.
I mean, how long has this been going on for? And it's evolved now, certainly, because you have AAU and you have agents and you have shoe companies and that stuff didn't exist before. But the bottom line is, I agree with you. This whole thing blows up if all the big schools are involved. If you see everybody's dirty laundry, everybody has to bear their skin the same. It's not like we're holier than thou. and everybody sees it for what it is, that's the only way it gets cleaned
Some
up.
of the backlash that I've heard is that you don't see the dirty laundry of the NCAA. People don't know the money they make. As former just students, they say, you're going to raise tuition because if they taking the basketball money, they got to pay y'all. Tuition is going to raise up for us.
Wow.
And they have no idea how much money's going in. Or that nice little UCLA science building, that economic center that was made at Notre Dame or wherever. They don't know that money built those buildings, and there's more than enough.
There's billions, and the NCAA, like they're not free and clear here with any of this. And that's the biggest thing, is that it falls on the athletes and the students, and it shouldn't. The adults in the situation are the ones that are benefiting from it, and the ones that are, the more money that you have in the situation, the further you are available to get away from it, which is standard. Speaking of UCLA. We're big Lonzo fans around here.
Yes.
And
yes.
Triple B.
Big baller brand.
Ball
Okay,
control.
so what is, first of all, as a Bruin, what is your opinion of the Ball family, LeVar, that whole situation?
You have to understand, you got to take a step back and know that what LeVar, big baller brand, Lonzo, the whole entity has done, they represent so much more than themselves. They represent athletes having an awareness of their likeness, of their image, of not just saying their brand, but like what you actually mean. And that's really been confused. Imagine if LeBron James had the rights of his own shoes, put them together, made the sacrifice,
Right.
and sold them. Everybody would have to have that. Imagine if he hit Nike and said, I want royalties, not just 90 or whatever the lifetime deal was that he got 100, something crazy. It's not as crazy what Nike's getting. It ain't nowhere near. So I don't fault LeVar at all. I love what he's doing. I wish there was more of a social responsibility to the other athletes. I'm not for the obnoxiousness, but he's no different than any other parent. My father was LeVar Ball without the arrogance. He would tell you that I was going to hit that last second shot that LeBron hit, that I was going to do the Kevin Love outlet pass. He couldn't watch a play without saying that I couldn't do that. And I love my dad for having a belief in me. And so many times we criticize how bad these African-American fathers are for stepping out and not being a part of their kid's life until it's time for them to make it. But we got one who's in it, and he isn't perfect, man. Like my old man ain't perfect. He's far from it.
Right.
My mom ain't perfect. We know our parents aren't perfect. And you got this imperfect man essentially throwing his way in front of the vehicle, in front of the man, to say, I'm going to help out my family. We're going to keep this money in-house. And I'm sure there are a lot of things that LeVar could be doing different, but he's paving the way for athletes to know our likeness. Lonzo took a lot of heat for just it's so many things, right? $200 autograph signing, okay? $200 autograph signing. 1 year at UCLA, 1 year in the pros. $200 autograph signing. Now, I'm a guy who signs for free. 3 years ago, did anybody know his darn name?
No.
Did anybody want that autograph?
No.
Wasn't worth 200.
One word, but nonetheless, you know me now, so you got to pay for that.
No, first of all, I have no problem with anything that LeVar does, including the obnoxiousness, because look, it's my business. Like, we need that.
Yes,
I have no issue with it. Yeah. I don't necessarily know if it's helping Lonzo on the court, but I think that Lonzo also has some development stuff that he has to go through, and he'll become a man on his own, or he won't, and none of this will work. But I do like what LeVar is doing. I'm all for anarchy anyway.
Yes.
And as far as the $200 or the shoes or whatever it is that they want to charge for anything, there's ridiculous slides that are like $200 or something, $250. Look, you're worth what someone's willing to pay you.
True.
So make your money. Like, there's enough of it in the world to go around, and if someone wants to pay you $300 for your silly shoes, take that money.
Yeah.
They're buying it.
Yeah. After the first 20 people at that sign-up shop, If they wasn't paying the $200, they would have changed the price real quick.
Real quick. Could be like,
But everybody was
let's
paying.
discount it a little bit. Maybe it's 150 now. So yes, I'm fine with all
Flash
of it.
sale.
What do you think of Lonzo on the court though?
He is what I thought he was. And this is what comes along with hype. This is what comes along with the name. Because you know it, big dog. If you got a name, I'm about to eat. Yeah. We going, I got to play against you. And that's what he's seeing night in and night out. And he's forced into the spotlight, no different than and honestly, he's getting a LeBron type of spotlight. He's getting a Kobe Bryant-like spotlight, and he's not that good. And for him, it's amazing. It's great because I knew he'd struggle shooting the three. He has too much activity, not just on the shot with his legs. He needs to work on his balance. So once his balance gets set, that'll be there. The kid made free throws in high school. That's going to be there. There's just a huge adjustment. In the NBA from your first year to your second year, we go from playing 2 games a week that we talked about earlier to 4 games, chartered flights, travel, massage therapists. Everybody around you has changed. You got the stress of the world. You got to figure out, because now it's a business. People forget that when you make it into the pros, you always just kind of came along in the system. Everybody makes the team. Everybody's in it. No one's cut. You got teammates traded. You got teammates cut. Now all of a sudden, you're worth $70 million. I'm worth $2.3 million. I got a brand. You got a brand. It's not just sports anymore. So he's feeling all those stresses, all those struggles. It's a completely different game. We have a problem. Some people have a problem with his aggression in the game, but you got to understand Lonzo is such an intelligent, high IQ player that he doesn't want to hurt what's going on the floor. So he's got a lot of figuring out to do. The one biggest flaw that we say about him, what the biggest flaw is what? His what? Shooting. Can you fix that? Yeah.
Yes.
I can't make you a point guard, dog. I can't make you a big.
He is a point. When I saw him at UCLA, I felt like he played more downhill at UCLA than he's playing now. But like you said, it's a completely different game. It's all different pressures. It's different people on the court. It's a whole different situation.
He has to learn how to finish.
Right.
Yeah.
But he is an incredible passer. He just has a vision for sharing the ball that you can't teach. I mean, obviously his shooting mechanic is insane, but you can't fix that during the season. I think for everybody who's coming down hard on him, though, they got to remember that Magic Johnson is running the Los Angeles Lakers, and Lonzo was his guy, so he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. All right, we gotta wrap this up, but. Really quickly before we let you go, is LeBron going to come to the Lakers if they lose?
I've been telling everybody he's coming to LA for the longest time. How long have I been?
Brentwood, baby.
It's happening.
Yeah.
He's coming to LA.
I'm here. I'm ready. Come on, Brian.
I've been saying this.
Get over here.
All right, thank you.
Y'all cut me, man. I got so much. Man.
I know.
There's so much going on.
We will have
you
back on. We promise. Thank you so much for joining us. You were awesome. And Ryan for president. Ryan for president.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you to Ryan Hollins.
Yes.
Ryan for Prez.
Of the NCAA.
Of the NCAA.
Yes.
All right, it's time for in or out.
In or out? Am I in or out?
What is it?
It's that time of year.
Cat-like sound. Huh? By the way.
You like it? Is that what you said?
It's becoming a cat-like sound.
I think it started that way.
Yeah.
It's that time of year again when the NBA players and NBA refs start really beefing. Paul George is the latest player to have a gripe with the stripes. PG-13 said that the OK3 definitely get officiated differently. Joy, are you in or out on superstars complaining about refs?
I mean,
You doing the in or out sound again? So
that's my grown man whine.
You think they're just complaining? Okay, so you're out on.
Listen, the only one who has a legitimate gripe is LeBron. And statistically, I don't even know if he actually does.
Right, driving 100 times a game.
I don't feel like pulling up the stats right now,
right,
but
yes.
that is not accurate.
Right.
That's fake news. You do not drive 100 times a game. But I will give it to LeBron. He does get officiated differently than other guys because he's a specimen.
Yeah.
So, it's gift and curse, LeBron.
You're welcome.
Yes.
And sorry.
Yeah, you're welcome from the universe, and sorry you're not going to get all the calls.
Right.
Even if you are a superstar, and if you look at it statistically, he does still get a lot of calls. But I do think there's times when he just bullies through the lane, and he obviously gets hacked and he doesn't get called because he's a giant. And I don't know if the refs like feel bad or if it just like bounces off of him, so they don't feel like it's a foul. But it's Shaq syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but Shaq did all right.
Arguably one of the greatest players.
He did okay.
Yeah.
In his career,
Yes.
despite the fact that he took some fouls that should have been called. He didn't make his free throws anyway. So,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
what else? What were we supposed to do?
What do you get mad about?
What can you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very out on this. Like Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo. Yeah. Carmelo's getting like an average of 2 less calls a game. I don't see Carmelo driving the lane very often anymore.
Yeah.
He's shooting from the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not getting those calls. I don't want to hear about it. Like the ref. Look. The whole beat up on the refs thing is so tired to me. I just don't want to hear about it anymore. Okay, it's every single year, and quite frankly, if I was a ref, I would ignore all of them. Like my rule would be this: I would tell them all before the game. If you complain, that means you're not getting any call you want. Like that, you're going to put me in a bad headspace by complaining. Because every single time they go in the lane,
Joy, that face.
how did you miss that? Like, can you, what? Every single time is not a foul. We have replay, dog. He went like this. Is this phantom foul? Then you want to be out here flopping. What do you want these refs to do? And it's not. I'm not like campaigning for the refs, but they have a hard job. Okay, they can't see everything. You don't want robot refs, okay? Because then you're going to be complaining about the robots, and then they're going to take over the earth. You know, you just can't have it. All right.
You mean literally robot refs?
Yes.
Yeah,
like
we don't
you
want
just you gotta have. You're gonna have some human error.
Right.
Okay.
But that's,
just deal with it.
But that's the game. That's the part of the game. The LeBron James and all these guys, you see them playing the refs earlier. There's stuff that we don't even see. Right? They're all playing the ref so they can get whatever call they want.
Right, and that's fine. But like they complain about every single time. Every single time a foul is called on them, it's as if they're offended. I wasn't even on the court. Like I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's obnoxious. You get calls. Sometimes you don't get calls. We have the replay to hopefully avoid the terrible calls at the end of the game and the out of bounds such and the 3 points and such. I don't want to hear about it. We got other stuff going on in the world. Very out.
Speaking of other stuff going on in the world.
Yes.
After beating the Cavs in Cleveland, Greg Popovich said that LeBron James is inspiring millions like the Black Panther movie. Mm-hmm. Pop defended LeBron's right to speak and called him a superhero. Joy, are you in or out on LeBron being Black Panther with a basketball?
Popovich for president also.
Yes.
Of the world.
Of the real one.
Yes.
Yes.
Of the real
real
world.
president.
Real
yes.
president of the world.
Yes.
No. Can we make world presidents now? I would like
World
Pop to be president of the world.
Yes.
Yes. If that's, we should start working on that.
Yes.
Do we though? I feel like that gets, like in the Bible, bad things happen when we all come together. Like Babel, you know.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Son of the times.
You know.
Okay, so maybe just the president of the United States.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm very in on it. I've said extensively, I have huge respect for LeBron James off the court, as Popovich does too. And I don't want to hear about the whole Popovich recruiting LeBron. Popovich always has nice things to say about LeBron.
Yes.
And it cheapens it, right? Like, it's hard enough for me to say nice things about people to begin with. And then, you know, you want to say, like, make it seem like I have some secret motivation to say something nice about someone. And that seems like Popovich is a very cranky man. You know, like, if he says something nice about someone, he means it.
He's a real one.
He's a curmudgeon. 98% of the time, he says something nice, and we're like, oh, he doesn't mean that. Maybe he earned it now that I actually kind of say that. But anyway, I love the analogy. LeBron is doing amazing things. He should definitely not ever shut up and dribble. I fully support everything that he does off the court. He's amazing as a superstar.
Yeah, comparing him to Black Panther is, I'm okay with it, and it's fine,
I actually think they have a lot of parallels too, because LeBron is indestructible.
Yes. Okay.
And so he's definitely on that vibranium.
Right.
That is not a shot at LeBron.
No.
Okay.
It is not a shot at LeBron, but also that vibranium could be. He clearly doesn't have vibranium because if he did, his hairline. I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, the people in Wakanda, right? Not to spoil anything, but the people in Wakanda
Don't talk to me about spoilers.
What?
Don't talk to me about spoilers. I don't want to talk about.
Well, okay. This seems like a decent segue. Are you in or out on spoilers?
Oh, okay. It's just a complicated question. There is no direct answer to this. I'm out on spoiling things for people, yes. But this comes with a caveat, okay?
Okay, as it should.
The other day on Undisputed,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about Black Panther. Shannon, who waited 2 weeks to see Black
Shay
Panther,
Sharp.
by the way.
The culture wants more from you, Shay.
So much more. We demand more. Okay. Waited 2 weeks to see it because the theater that near his house was sold out, which is not accurate. It was sold out the night he wanted to go. Anyway, I said, spoiler alert, that Killmonger dies in the movie.
You're right.
Sorry, John.
Yeah. Only person in here who hasn't seen it.
Okay, but this is my thing. People were tweeting me about it.
Yes.
And they're like, oh my God, you spoiled Black Panther for me. I don't care. I don't care.
Don't care.
I give
at
zero.
all.
I give zero bleeps that
Yes.
your Black Panther watching experience has been ruined. And here's
Right.
why. Because if you actually cared about Black Panther, you would have seen it within this first 2 weeks. And if that's for
Yes.
whatever reason, like you've been dealing with a tragedy or you a personal tragedy, obviously, or you didn't have them funds or whatever, you got to limit your media intake then.
Yes.
Okay? You can't just expect the entire world not to talk about the biggest movie in the world because you didn't see it. That ain't my problem. I'm supposed to feel bad? I got a lot of things I can feel bad for. That ain't one of them. I do not care that you did not see Black Panther. It's been out for 2 weeks. Okay? I'm supposed to stop living my life? No. Okay?
I'm supposed to not bring up vibranium because of you. Because
Go
your
see the movie.
schedule.
Guys, there's this thing
Come
called
on.
the dark web, okay?
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
not
don't even
advocating
start.
for it, okay?
I'm not-
But if it was really that important to you,
Right.
then you would see
You would have found it.
You would have seen the movie.
It's been a couple of years since I've had bootleggers around me normally, like on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, because,
But-
who watches DVDs anymore?
But I'm telling you, that Black Panther DVD is floating around. I guarantee you can find it if you was looking for it.
If you were looking for it. If you want,
was looking
seek
for
and
it.
you shall find.
Yes.
And there's certain things, look, like, I guess Stranger Things is a thing, to people. People watch
Yes.
Stranger Things.
Yes, I love Stranger
I haven't
Things.
gone into Stranger Things yet. I'm
Yes,
sure there's some
upside down.
spoiler things for that.
Yes.
I'm a big Game of Thrones watcher. Of
course.
Definitely huge spoilers for Game of Thrones.
No, not really.
Okay, but if you watch Game of Thrones, which you don't.
I do. No, I watch Game of
You
Thrones.
don't understand
I just
it,
don't
though.
believe in spoilers. I don't believe in
You
the
just
whole
don't believe in
thing.
spoilers? Okay, well, you that's just weird. If you are somebody who's into something and there are huge reveals, or like in Game of Thrones where there's deaths of major characters like that.
R.P. Jon Snow, not really.
Exactly.
Like that.
Okay, but
Yeah.
everybody knew Jon Snow was coming back. I mean, that is the biggest joke in TV history.
Dragon White Walker.
Ooh, Jon Snow's dead forever.
Yes.
Okay.
Not going to happen.
Exactly. Impossible. Impossible.
Yes.
But anyway, the point is, I do believe that things can be spoiled for you. But I care about Game of Thrones, and I care about if it's spoiled for me. So you know what I do? I watch it when it airs. And if I can't watch it when it airs, out of respect for the people who are enjoying the show on their own time, I don't go on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook until I have seen the show.
You protect yourself.
I protect myself.
Yes.
I don't
Good for
expect the
you.
entire world to stop moving because of me. I'm not selfish.
Hot take.
Okay? I only care about you guys. Enjoy your television shows, enjoy your movies, and stop
Yeah.
telling me that I can't enjoy it myself. Spoiler alert. Please. Spoiler alert. It's been out for 2 weeks.
Spoiler alert. Joy's out on spoiler alerts.
I feel like I've said my piece on that.
Yeah, no, you got it. I'm definitely just moving on at this point. Next, the Lakers were in the ATL to play the Hawks, and before the game, a reporter asked Lonzo Ball who was his top 5 rappers right now. They said he was in the capital of hip-hop, being the ATL, capital of hip-hop, which I think may have led the witness a little bit. But Lonzo said, my top 5 is Future, Drake, Quavo Offset, and 21. 21 Savage, obviously. Joy, are you in or out on Lonzo's top 5?
Lonzo, you're making things very difficult.
Stop.
Yeah, stop making things difficult. Okay, first of all, I have a very hard time with lists. Okay?
Yes.
I struggle with them. Even though we do a lot of lists on the podcast,
We do.
actually.
We do. We might do one after this.
But yeah, we might in a few minutes. My problem with lists is sometimes I change my mind,
Right.
and I don't want to be held. I don't want to be held to answer for that because if I change my mind, I change my mind. My other thing is I am trying not to be an old fuddy dud. You know.
You got to work hard.
I
Keep working.
vehemently disagree with every name on that list. Okay.
None of those people deserve to be in the top 5.
Top 5 rappers of all time.
Let's take out all time. He's talking about right now.
Okay, no. What was the question? The question matters. Is it his favorite rappers? Okay, if those are your favorite rappers,
he did say top 5.
Those are your favorite rappers. Who am I to tell you what kind of music to listen to?
Yes.
Okay, you listen to whatever you want.
Okay.
All right. If I ask you your top favorite artists of painters of all time, you're gonna tell me something. I'm gonna be like, oh, egregious. Like, no, that's what you like to consume. That's your preference.
Right.
But if he is ranking the top 5 rappers of all time,
yes.
and he said 21 Savage, yeah, I'm going to be offended as a person that has ears. Okay, and that's no diss to 21 Savage, but you're not the top 5 rapper of all time.
There's 2 members of the Migos in this
you didn't
list.
mention Takeoff.
Yeah, that's an issue because Takeoff definitely is better at rapping than Quavo.
That's so cool you had. What are we talking about here?
So I'm saying I want to do what you're doing. I want to just ream him for the list, but he has to be talking about this month. He's talking about in Black History Month in February. Who's your top 5 rappers?
What do you mean?
It's got to be.
He's just talking about like who's hot this month.
They cut it out of the clip.
Okay.
Said,
the question matters. And look, Lonzo is very disrespectful to Nas. All right, which I don't appreciate.
Yes.
Okay, and he's wrong for that, and he needs to sit down and talk to somebody about his issues with Nas,
right?
Because it's wrong. Okay, but if he's talking about top 5 rappers of all time, I mean, look, he's not he's 14. Okay.
Stop.
Okay, but he's
Joy.
20. He's 20. He's grown.
14.
He's grown.
Those people can be in your top 5.
He's 20 years old. And he's a Future. I love Future. Okay, but come on, it's him.
Future sauced up.
Okay.
He's leading with Future.
Oh, yeah, he did lead with Future, didn't he?
Yes, he led with
Future. Future is greater than Tupac.
I mean, okay, so. Okay, Lonzo Ball had a follow up. He said, looking back at it, he should have just said Migos and added Travis Scott.
Oh.
So.
Well.
New news.
It's fixed then.
I thought it was a mistake. Future, the Migos have been in my top 5 for the last couple weeks. No. The last couple years.
Top 5 what? Top 5 what? Top 5 rappers of all time?
No, Joy, you can't do the all time. You can't put these rules on people.
Yes, you can. If you ask
the question, lived a couple of years.
He's lived long enough to know. Okay, first of all, yes, he has lived long enough to know the difference between Migos and Tupac. Okay.
Yes.
And listen, again, if he's just saying his preference, it's one thing. But we're talking about all time. Don't answer the question. Say, I would respectfully decline to answer this question.
What's your top 5?
What is my top 5? It's everyone's top 5.
What's your top 5 rappers all time?
Tupac, Biggie.
Tupac, Biggie.
Not in any particular order, although I do think that Tupac is better.
Okay.
Okay. Tupac, Biggie.
Okay.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Okay. Nas.
Nas.
And the 5th, I feel like it's interchangeable with whatever mood you're in. Like, okay, you could go Kanye.
Right.
I wouldn't be offended by that. Kendrick. I wouldn't be offended by that. And then, there's like some other options.
Eminem.
Ice Cube. Okay, fine. I will give you the 5th one is interchangeable.
Bars.
You can put Eminem in. All right.
Yes.
Ice Cube. Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Some people would argue Snoop.
No, they wouldn't.
I mean, he's had a pretty lengthy career.
He's great. He's a top 5 rapper. I don't think a lot of people have him in top 5.
I think 5th is your preference.
Okay.
5th, I'm allowing your preference.
Okay.
Because new Kanye, I don't have time for. He's out here making $500 sweatpants.
Time for all Kanye. Kanye is at the top of my top 5 list.
Okay, I'm fine with that. But what I'm not fine with is you out here talking about 21 Savage is top 5. Who's he better than on that list?
All right, here's my top 5 all time.
I mean, you're just gonna disrespect all of Wu-Tang?
Kanye West.
We're just gonna disregard all Wu-Tang and go to 21 Savage.
Drake. T Grizzly.
What did you just say?
I said Kanye West. Drake. Now I said top 5. That's me being facetious. I'm joking.
You talking about Drake that used to act in Degrassi Drake? I love Drake. Okay.
Wheelchair Jimmy has bars for whoever's going to ask for him.
I love Drake.
And he should be in everyone's top 5 rapper.
Okay, listen. I will put Drake in the interchangeable 5th slot. Okay, but he is not on Mount Rushmore. Continue.
Well, I don't really want to.
Don't do your top 5 then. Do your Mount Rushmore because the 5th one is interchangeable.
Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Okay. Biggie.
This is not hard.
Biggie in this order. Biggie,
You don't have to think about the next one. It's very easy.
Kanye West, you're right.
What do you mean? Where's Tupac?
What? Biggie, Kanye, Tupac, Andre 3000. Next question. Next question, Joy.
Get out.
What's up? What's up?
Andre 3000 is on your Mount Rushmore of
All right,
rappers.
literally going
You
to the
deserve
next
whatever
question.
internet backlash you get.
Andre 3000 is a
Just
good
as a
goat.
note, someone who is not on Lonzo's top 5 list is Bow Wow because he beat him in a shooting contest, and the internet has proof.
He's a former. He used to be a rapper.
Oh, it's
Bow Wow
it's
is
Bow
Shad
Wow,
Mouse. Shad Mouse now.
It's formerly known as Bow Wow.
Yeah, he might be Shad
He's
Mouse
not
Senior.
Lil
I don't
Bow Wow
know.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's not like Mike. I want to be like Mike. Bow Wow
not
anymore.
anymore. Okay, moving on. We're switching over to some football.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Giants owner John Mara, is that how you say his name? Mara.
I think it's Mara.
Mara? I like Mara. John Mara said the NFL competition committee agreed unanimously that controversial catch rulings involving Des Bryant and Calvin Johnson should have been ruled as complete. Joy, are you in or out on the NFL admitting they got it wrong?
You know what? In
What?
life,
Yes.
there's some things you should just keep to yourself.
Amen.
You know?
Yes.
You see, like you have a fiance,
Right.
right? And she looks beautiful and everything,
Yes.
right? But let's just say sometimes we make bad fashion choices, and she's like, "Honey, what do you think of these shoes?" And you're like, "I would never wear those shoes ever."
Yes.
But you tell her that she looks good in those shoes.
No.
You don't.
I am famous for being honest at all times, and it gets me in a lot of trouble.
You're gonna lose that.
Yeah.
That's gonna,
I should
you're
stop.
Gonna, you're gonna
Once
you're
fiance
gonna-
becomes wife, I might
You're
switch
gonna
that
grow
up.
out of that along with a
Yes.
lot of other things. Okay, but that's gonna end. So the wrong answer to the question is what you just gave.
Right.
There are some things in life you just keep to yourself. Right.
Right, yeah.
You are not your fiance's no person. Okay. All right. You are the encourager.
I will adopt that role soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I am infuriated by this.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Cowboys fans are going to be irate, to say the least. Ashley, I'm sure, is very bothered.
Well, they're going to win the Super Bowl that year?
You know what? Yes, they would. They would, and you know why they can say that? Because we'll never know. Because it was
Exactly.
stolen from them. And if I'm a Cowboys fan, I completely advocate for them saying that. They can say whatever they want. It was stolen. Stolen. The most infamous example of this stupid catch rule. And it was a catch. The whole time it was a catch.
Yeah, but that's what
Lions
the
fans
debate
can
was
say
about.
the same thing. As far as I'm concerned, they should have won every Super Bowl since that.
The Lions?
It's the conversations, the extensive conversations that football fans
Yes.
and talking heads have had about this stupid catch rule, and you come out and just say that it was a catch after all this time. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I've got to be in an alternative reality, like.
I think they're just tired of hearing people talk about it. It's like, all right, let's really look in this.
So they just gave in.
Yeah.
They just gave up. They're like, whatever.
You know what? You guys were right. Please stop talking about the catches.
I'm out on this. I don't like it. I don't even like when they give like the 2-minute report or any of this. It's just frustrating. Like it
yeah,
just
the last 2
validates
minutes.
all of my frustration. And I'm obviously not a Cowboys fan, but like it was a catch. It's a stupid conversation, and now they have admitted it. What happened? Yeah, Des caught it.
Yeah, Des called it.
No,
Jesse James.
no. Literally, he caught it. They told us. So if you hate Cowboys fans, good luck. Bunker down for the next, rest of your life, because the level of obnoxious that they were before about it, now they have verification that all this time that they were right. There's nothing worse than somebody who has been told for years that they're wrong, and then they are presented with evidence that they're right. They are insufferable. That is what the NFL has just unleashed from the world. All insufferable Cowboys fans. If they weren't bad enough already, now you have validated their conspiracy theories forever. So thank you for that.
The catch.
Yeah, you got to think big picture with this stuff. It's not as simple as like, oh, he caught it. That's what just happened. For real.
I just can't care. I can't even act like I care.
Oh, I care.
I can't care, Joy. It's a wrong call. You know how many wrong calls led to that drive? It's a bad call. Like bad calls happen all the time, and we're talking about a game.
It doesn't matter.
It's a game.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a playoff game, and as far as Cowboys fans are concerned, it cost them the Super Bowl in every Super Bowl since. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Tony Romo's a Super Bowl champ now. You should make him a honorary Super Bowl ring and send it to Tony Romo. He deserves it. He deserves it.
They're gonna put
I
out a
take back everything bad I ever said about Tony Romo. He's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. He was robbed. All right, moving on. All right, it's time for the petty report.
And I won't back down.
You're new to the petty crown. This is what we do now.
This is life now.
This is life now. I got this at Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and it was a hit. Dilly. Walking around the New Orleans streets. So I kept it. Now we use it on the podcast.
It's just.
And it's something.
I wish I could have picked the lint off of it.
I wish, like, is there lint on it?
Yeah, we can deal with that later. It's fine. It's not too distracting.
Okay. Well, it's a crown, so it looks how it looks. My leg is asleep. Okay. So, petty report this week. Petty wars between Jerry Jones and Roger Goodell. So, if you remember last year, for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, we had to discuss Zeke Elliott and whether he was going to be suspended, and then he was suspended, and then he wasn't suspended, and he was suspended again, but then he wasn't suspended, and then we went to court and he was suspended again, and then at one point or another it just stuck and he had to serve the 6 games, which we always knew was going to happen because the NFL has ultimate power over the players because they signed that thing that said that's how it works. So Jerry Jones, who is an owner who backs his players, he tried to pull the old move on good old Roger, and keep him from getting that good old extension for the $200 million. Good old $200 million. Didn't work, and Roger's still here, still doing his thing,
still kicking. So
what happens is the other owners they get to sue now because the money that Jerry used to try and keep that from happening came out from all the owners' pockets, and these guys are billionaires and they don't like that. So they're suing Jerry for $2 million, which is nothing to Jerry, obviously. But to the other owners, it is something. And Jerry is, of course, appealing the $2 million because it's petty. And Jerry's about that petty life right now. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. When they put Jerry into the Hall of Fame, all bets are off.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's it.
You didn't tell him nothing.
You couldn't tell Jerry Jones nothing before. You think you're going to tell him something now?
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
No.
What can you tell him?
Yeah.
He can't do any wrong. You're not going to take him out of the Hall of Fame. What I do find interesting about this, though, is, it's super petty on both ends. It's petty from the other owners because we're talking about $2 million here, which to them is like, a dinner at Mastro's for us. Not even, really. Like, I got to think about that. Like, do I want to go to Mastro's or just, we can go to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Although we can't get the fries because they're disgusting.
Quality beef, though.
Yes.
It's up there.
The point is, it's super petty, but I find it interesting that because it is Jerry Jones, who ain't going nowhere, and is the owner of the most wealthy sports organization in all of sports, in the whole planet round Earth.
Right.
That's shout out to you, Geno Smith. Earth is a globe. It ain't flat. And Roger's not going anywhere either. So I don't understand how this works. Like, how does this all... How do they reconcile this situation? And it's ongoing, obviously, because Jerry is appealing. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because I didn't think that Robert Kraft and Roger Goodell, I'm sure they're not on good terms, but we're going to get to a place where they could, be around each other.
Right.
They got to work together. They're the owners. Their owners, Jerry Jones is Roger Goodell's boss, but not really because he's also the other owners are also his boss. So he works for all of them, but Jerry tried to keep him from getting a job, but now he has a job. Now the other owners are suing Jerry over trying to keep him from having the job. It's chaos. It's like petty chaos.
Extremely confusing.
But it's confusing, but not really. But the bottom line is that Jerry is the most powerful owner. We thought Robert Kraft was. I feel like Jerry Jones is the most powerful owner in the NFL, and he's beefing with Roger, who's not going anywhere. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. What I do think is that I don't want to hear more about the Zeke stuff, and that's what all this is about.
Zeke starting trouble.
But he's not even doing anything.
Months ago.
But he's not even doing anything.
Just future trouble. It's all just future trouble.
I feel like it's like ripple effect trouble.
Trickle down effect?
Trickle down. Trickle down trouble. It's a petty report. All right, it's time for DJ Khaled honorary All We Do Is Win award.
Yes. Yes.
Blake Bortles. Blake gets so much airtime on this podcast.
Oh gosh, I can't wait. We gotta get him on here.
For someone I can't be bothered with, we talk about him so much. I blame you. Blake Bortles has got a new 3-year, $54 million deal.
Woo!
Yeah, Blake. Let's go, Blake.
$26.5 million guaranteed. So Jacksonville's out of the quarterback market
For now.
for now. Everyone loses in this scenario except for Bortles.
That is the most false thing
Okay.
ever.
I got some non-gut data facts for you. You want to hear
Okay.
them?
Sure.
Blake Bortles didn't crack top 10 in any statistical category in 2017 except for one. He tied for 7th in interceptions. That's
good.
when you throw the ball to the other team.
I know what they are.
Very accurate. 7th overall in accuracy, throwing the ball to the other team. 24th in completion percentage, 11th in passing yards, 17th in passing yards / attempts, and 16th in passing touchdowns. Not top 10 in any of those. Oh, and since being drafted, Bortles has led the league in interceptions. That's when you throw the ball to the other team.
Oh.
That's what an interception is.
Okay, yeah. I know
He
that.
has led the league in interceptions since he's been drafted.
Listen, let's be real.
So, shout out Blake Bortles. Live your best life. Okay? And you are what Jacksonville deserves.
I just doing a quick shout out, Blake Bortles. Shouts you out. Best thing that ever happened to Jacksonville since Fred Durst started Limp Bizkit there. And the city deserves it. The city deserves it. And congratulations. Listen, they're giving more money. They have more money now with this deal to do more in free agency. Right? Blake Bortles proves that he can do the thing. They're going to Nick Foles their way to a Super Bowl. The window is open. Tom Coughlin is the man.
You're going to keep doing this to me, huh?
I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I feel like I'm going to be right again. But what are you going to do? Congrats to Blake Bortles.
Yes.
Congrats, Blake Bortles.
Sincerely.
Loser Power Rankings.
Loser Power Rankings. These are the losers of the week.
All right. Coming in at number 3 is Heat fans. Because our sweet Dwayne Wade, sweet Dwayne Wade, he's back in Miami.
Yes.
Heat not doing so well this season. Seemed to take a little nosedive. We were doing well, and then we started doing the losing thing again. So that's happening, which is a personal thing, which I try to not put out there in this podcast because even though we have a lot of Miami listeners, which I appreciate, shout out Miami.
Shouts out.
I'll be there this weekend. People don't care about the Heat very much unless you're from Miami. So, but Dwayne Wade said he is not sure. He told my friend Barry Jackson that he doesn't know. I've told everyone around me that I am taking
Not sure
it
about what.
after this season and go from there. He doesn't know if it's over. It'll be a sad day. I'm gonna be very sad.
Retirement?
Yeah.
We're talking about the retirement.
He's
with
gonna
Dwayne
go
Wade?
into the summer and see how he feels, see the position the organization is in, and go from there. It's very sad.
So, what percentage of the statue do you start building this summer?
I think you got to wait until he officially retires before you break ground on the statue.
Really?
Which he's 100% getting. 100%. I'm very well deserved.
With?
Don't say it.
Just saying.
Don't make me take the Lord's name in vain.
Just a little heavy eye.
You're so
Heavy
annoying.
eye on the statue.
You just stop it.
You can't have it without the heavy
Stop
eye,
it.
Joy. It doesn't look like it. It won't look like it.
We're taking the L this week. All right, we're barely clinging on to the 8th seed, which is very depressing, and we might not have our sweet Dwayne Wade next year. It's very sad. It's very sobering.
You said he's going to come back home and then retire. You said that.
I mean, yes,
You're right.
I didn't want to be right about it. I mean, I wanted to be right about him coming back, but I'd like one more season. Oh God, I mean, that will really, I would be sad. I might have to take the day off work. I'll need a personal day. So hopefully it's not podcast day because I will not come in here with energy.
We'll just come to your house.
Sure. You can just watch me sit around being sad. All right. Number 2 loser this week. How much of the bye-bye Winter Olympics, okay?
Oh, no.
Winter Olympics over.
You should say closing ceremonies were beautiful for Winter Olympics.
Well, I wouldn't know because I didn't watch the closing ceremonies, nor did I watch the opening ceremonies, nor did I watch the Winter Olympics. I watched 2 minutes of the Winter Olympics. It was figure skating. I don't remember who was figure skating.
But you like snow.
Who? No. Not my brand at all. Opposite of snow.
Okay, well, listen, you're gearing up to take a poo-poo on the Olympics. Let me just say, shouts out to all the gold medals that the U.S. took home.
What about the silver medals? Bronze medals? We don't believe in that. We're winners only.
I mean, it's the United States way. It's gold. Shaun White Just stamped and stuff. I hope they make a video game again. I'm gonna be on there playing snowboards.
You know we're off Shaun White right now, right?
Huh?
You didn't see the Twitter moment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The curling team. They
Well,
took it
since
home.
you mentioned the curling team, they are actually the losers. They won the gold medal. Oh wait, they won gold medals, but they got gold medals that actually said women's curling. Not that should be a diss, but I feel like you win your gold medal, you should get the right gold medal you get, unless you're winning a gold medal at curling because no one cares. Like I said, and then they sent out a thirst tweet to Delta Air. It was a thirst tweet. Okay, and I listen. I am not immune to sending out thirst tweets.
Right.
I will thirst tweet many food outlets.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, with the intent of getting free food. Is that a hunger tweet? I'm very hungry right now. I'm delusional.
Yes.
But he sent out a thirst tweet. It's called what it is to Delta, hoping that they could get VIP treatment, a little extra leg room. I wasn't aware that curling required a particular physique.
Joy.
Okay, so I'm learning. Listen, it's every day is about growth, right? I'm learning. Anyway, they did not get the.
You ever stretched and then
The
slid on
upgrade.
ice? That's what they're doing out there, stretching and sliding. You ever stretch and slide?
No. L this week for the curling team. And I'm sorry, like I tried. I gave it a good try.
What percentage of it did you watch?
I mean, I don't know. What can you even put a percentage on 2 minutes of the entire Winter Olympics?
I'm sure you could mathematically.
I'm a
but
Summer Olympics girl, okay? That's what it is.
That was that. Yeah, you enjoyed it. With Ryan Lochte killed it Summer Olympics. What? He did really great.
Of all of the esteemed American athletes that you could name,
Ryan Lochte.
you name Ryan Lochte?
He was great.
Do you know who Ryan Lochte is?
Yeah, he went to Florida. He was a swimmer. Real big
He
bro.
also disgraced the entire country and made up a fake story about getting beat up and robbed.
Allegedly disgraced the entire country.
No. There ain't no alleged. Ain't no alleged.
Allegedly.
Yo, I'm not even gonna get into it. You are not gonna get me triggered about Ryan Lochte.
I was trying to.
All I'm saying is, you come here talking about you got fake robbed. You might actually get robbed. Mess around talking about you got robbed. Okay. Oh, you got robbed.
Anyways.
Oh, you got robbed though.
I watched 20.
No, we gonna make. Oh, you got robbed. Turns out he got stuff we could take. Let's rob him then. That's what I would do
I hear
if
you.
I was a robber.
Yes. Shouts out to the U.S. swim team.
Ryan Lochte.
I watched 20% of the Winter Olympics, and it was on the entire time of the 20%. So there you go.
No, honestly,
Great commentators.
congrats to all the gold medal winners. It's a lovely accomplishment.
Yes.
Thank you for representing our country.
Thank you. Get back
I'm not
to
being sarcastic. I
get back to driving
I
Uber.
just didn't watch. Zaza is our number one loser this week, and I've tried to reserve judgment on Zaza, but it's time. It's time. And you know why? Because he came from Russell, and Russell's my favorite. So there's this ongoing debate, which I think is pretty much solved, that if Zaza Pachulia is a dirty player. He obviously took out Kawhi Leonard, which nobody appreciated. Because who's the person who doesn't like Kawhi Leonard? I've never met anyone who doesn't like Kawhi Leonard. What?
Nah,
I don't trust him.
Too quiet.
too quiet. I'll say this. Listen, I don't know.
That's the whole point.
I don't know if
the
I can.
silent assassin.
No. If you can dunk and also look like you're hypnotized in the Get Out movie at the same time, he's straight faced, like has no emotion, dunking on people.
Yes, those are the people you
It's
want
not
on your
trustworthy.
team. You want this. You want somebody who is emotionless.
No,
That's a killer.
Those cornrows too tight.
No,
Loosen them up.
I'm sorry. I mean, this is egregious. I've never met anyone who doesn't like Kawhi.
I don't dislike Kawhi.
I don't trust you anymore.
I don't dislike Kawhi.
Yeah, everyone loves Kawhi.
Yeah.
All right, we're not talking about this anymore. Everyone loves Kawhi. And he injured Kawhi, and now he fell over Westbrook, and he's a goon. And I don't understand why anybody hasn't come for him yet. What's the problem?
Durant defended him. He said he's clumsy. He's clumsy. I respect that. I saw myself and I was like, I would have felt
I
too.
am clumsy. Okay. Well, I've actually broken a girl's ankle before, though.
Now, were you leaning into your clumsiness to do so?
No, I did on purpose.
Okay. All right.
I didn't mean to break her ankle, but I didn't. I meant to hurt her, and she got hurt.
All right. You and Zaza have a lot in common.
Shout out a name.
No, I don't know her name.
Girl with the broke
Listen,
ankle.
you weren't gonna drive on me. She's coming down full speed. What do you want?
Thank you for that throwback Thursday.
I'm not going to risk, I'm not getting risk run over.
Right.
You're not going to posterize me. Not that she was going to dunk, obviously, but like, no. You're
No,
going
no.
to come down the lane again, but like literally you're not because they broke your
Oh,
ankle.
my gosh.
Anyway, I'm very out on Jaja. Stop trying to injure people. We need Westbrook, okay? Jaja, Westbrook. But
True.
But his teammates, like, he's got an ongoing thing with Westbrook. Russell's a real one, but he needs somebody off the bench to get out there and put a little thingy on him.
A little elbow drop,
Just a little thingy.
Stone Cold,
Just a little,
people's elbow.
Just let him know what's up.
Give him a head nod.
We
Get
ain't doing
somebody
that around
equally
here.
as clumsy
We ain't do exactly.
to clumsy on
Sorry,
Zaza.
bro. Super clumsy.
Yeah, my bad.
That's it. So those are the losers this week. All right. Got data fact?
Gut data fact, girl. You know what's coming now. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. I got in a radio interview voice. Been watching a lot of Breakfast Club. Okay, so gut data fact. Obviously, the Oscars are coming, Joy.
Yes.
We've talked about this. The social climate right now, it's kind of weird, and I say Get Out and the social climate right now is going to trick everyone into Get Out's just going to sweep. Get Out is going to sweep. Anything that Get Out is in is going to sweep. They're in Best Picture, Best African, Best Actor, who's actually from London, but he played in Wakanda. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He was bad in Wakanda, so I don't want him to win
How
that.
dare you?
He was bad in Wakanda. No, he was bad meaning like he was a bad guy. He
was a
flipped
bad guy.
sides. He was
Yeah.
a Killmonger. Well, that's actually good too. Oh, Best Director Jordan Peele and Best Original Screenplay Jordan Peele. I honestly think Jordan Peele should win everything that he is in, but I would not be surprised if Get Out, good data fact, Get Out sweeping the Oscars.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the no on that one.
That's a fair take.
Not that I don't think that Get Out is a wonderful movie
Yeah, it was
with
good. It's a great
very
movie.
accurate influences.
Yes.
But I just think that you're giving the people who we think have progressed is a little bit too much credit. Wait, I'm a wait and see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait and see. Who are the nominees for the Best Picture?
Okay, I'm gonna look at it. 1 second. Best Picture. And don't cut this out either. I'm doing good stuff right here. Best Picture. No, honest. Okay, so it was. I don't have it up. No, I do have it up. You ready?
Yes.
I can tell you. You want me to tell you with my
Yes,
voice?
that's what I just asked.
All right, let's do it with my voice. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. I got to scroll.
You don't have it up.
I do have it up. What you mean I don't got it up? It's right here on my computer, my laptop thing.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. I'm gonna click a different link though, because I didn't like the way that link was listed. Okay. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The
We got
Wi-Fi is Fox Family Wi-Fi. Okay. You ready?
Yes, I was ready.
Okay. It was an ad that popped up, so it moved it farther down. You know what happens sometimes. Best Picture nominees: Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and my personal favorite, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
You did not see that movie.
I did.
You did not see that
I
movie.
did. That's the one I did see. That's the one of the
On your
other
mother,
ones I've
you
seen.
saw 3 billboards outside of Missouri.
Yes,
or
I
whatever the
saw it.
name
I
is.
used my movie pass. Shouts out to that service.
Okay.
Movie pass. Yes.
I saw Get Out and Darkest Hour.
Okay, what'd you think?
I wanted to see Shape of Water,
Yes.
but I didn't.
I'm still going to.
So yeah, I think when it's available.
I got some time.
You know, I got some time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Darkest Hour because that's the only one I saw. And and I actually thought it was a good movie, and I had
Yeah.
no idea that that guy was actually him playing Winston Churchill. Yeah, Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah.
He looks nothing like him.
Gary Owen's the best.
So maybe the makeup for that should definitely win.
He should have won. He should have won an Oscar for the Book of Eli.
I didn't see that either.
My goodness, Joy.
Yeah, but I don't think they were. I don't think that they're ready to put their money where their mouth is with Get Out.
It might. Listen, something's gonna happen. We're gonna be watching. Street's
Okay.
gonna be watching.
Who's up for best actor?
Best actor. You gonna make me read people's names?
I mean,
Timothy Clement.
just turn it around.
Clownament.
Just give it to me.
Daniel Day-Lewis. I know
Oh,
him.
you got that one?
Yeah, and Daniel. I was bad in what kind?
Oh, I don't know how to say that guy's name anyway.
Try
Timothy Chalamet. I bet that's right.
That's close.
Call Me by Your Name. Daniel Day-Lewis. Phantom Thread. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis is running, right? He wins anything he's
That's what he
put up
does.
for.
He's the Bill Belichick
Gary
of
Oldman,
Oscars.
though, is another. He's very good. Denzel's not going to win that.
Not in that movie.
No, I didn't know anything good about that movie at all.
Roman J. Sound like a clothing line.
And then Get Out. So I'm going to go with Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
For Darkest Hour. And
you
then
know he's the
lead
favorite.
actures.
Lead actors,
You
read
feel like
them.
you can read those?
No.
I think you can do it. I believe in you.
Yes. Lead actress. Ooh. First name Sally. That's an easy one. Sally Hawkins, The Shape of Water. Frances McDormand, and Three Billboards. I think she will win that one. That was good.
Because you saw that.
I saw. People didn't like that one because it's like too culturally insensitive. Or
I
whatever.
thought she looked like she did a good job in the preview that I saw.
She looked just like she did what she did.
She's very convincing.
Margot Robbie from I, Tonya.
Who?
Margot Robbie.
Marco?
Margot.
Marco?
Oh, it got a T at the end.
Marco Rubio?
Margot. It's a T silent T. Margot Robbie.
Margot.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome.
From I, Tonya?
Yeah, from I, Tonya.
Listen, I'm just going to say this, okay? And I don't care what happens.
Don't do it.
I'm not watching movies anymore if she wins. Okay, and this is the thing. I'm done with Tonya Harding. We left Tonya Harding in 2017 along with all the other riffraff. Okay, I don't want to hear about it anymore.
They're just trying to get gold at the Olympics.
I don't want to hear about it. Was Tonya Harding? What is this? What's happening here? Does anybody even know what happened with that story? Why is Tonya Harding the victim?
If you make a movie of it, anything can be forgiven, Joy.
No, that ain't how it works, okay?
Yeah.
On any level, actually, that is not how it works. I am not advocating for this Tonya Harding nonsense. No. Who is this Tonya Harding? Why is she at the award ceremony? I don't want to see Tonya Harding.
Yeah, it's her story. It's her story, Joy.
Does anyone have Wikipedia? Do we know? Did we forget what happened? I don't want to. I don't care how good Margot was in it. If she's got the bad eyeliner, I don't care. Okay.
Wow.
She's not winning.
Okay.
That's not happening.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say the last name first because I don't know how to pronounce that one. Meryl Streep, the GOAT for the Post.
Yeah, Meryl Streep is obviously winning.
And then, all right, let's do this for real. Cecil Sarisi Ronona, the girl from Lady Bird. What's her name, Joy?
Yeah, what is this Lady Bird? Oh, Sarah Reese Ronan.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Okay. All right, so we'll find out. We'll find out how accurate we were. I'm going with Meryl Streep.
Yes.
I'm going to go all front running. Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Gary Oldman. And Darkest Hour, the one movie I saw. I saw Get Out, obviously, but I just,
I'm going 3 billboards. Mm-hmm. Wakanda for the actor. Mm-hmm. And actress Frances say the N-word. She said the N-word in the movie. Everybody said the N-word in the movie.
What's the movie?
The 3 billboards outside of Ebbing.
There's a lot of N-word in that movie?
Yeah, as much as just It's like the world. It's like the opposite of Wakanda.
I think that's pretty cool. We cleared that up. Okay, that's the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast.
Hey.
Thank you guys for joining us this week. Make sure you subscribe and share and give us nice ratings and comment on YouTube. And follow us on all of our social media outlets at Maybe I'm Crazy Pod. Follow Brandon too at Newman Show 99.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great job on the comments this week, guys. You were really
Brought it
into
strong.
it. Just great. Last week not so good. Keep it up.
What do we call them? The Maybe I'm Crazies?
That's what I was thinking. Like the crazy.
I feel like the Crazies is
my brother
like,
told me we need to call them something.
Yeah.
The
Maybe you know what? We'll let you guys
maybes.
decide what you would like.
Yeah, what y'all want to be called?
Yeah.
And nothing with
maybes?
snack in it or Joy's name.
No snacks. No snacks.
The Joys could be the Joys. The
Good Joys.
The Jollies.
I feel like we need something more inclusive.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
As much as I appreciate the Joy Army, something specific for the podcast. Thank you, Ryan Hollins for president,
Yes.
for joining us. And we're going to have a bonus podcast for you again this week. Reggie Bush, California legend,
Gets in it.
is
Cultural
going to join
legend.
us. Yes, and he has lots of good stuff. So you don't want to miss that. So make sure you subscribe so you get an alert on your phone when it's up. Thanks for joining us. I'm gonna catch you next week. We love you.
Bye.
Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy.